That's the special one. I've got plenty of those. I don't think I have the Dune Courser yet. Let's see what this is. Splicing Lab. I think I have that one. It's alright. I haven't really used it before. I haven't played a whole lot of yellow. Give minion piercing. I have that one. I haven't played a lot of green, so give all friendly minions armor 2 and warded until my next turn. It's pretty nice. That could help. Green seems like a more defensive type deck, not really control-y like the yellow. I mean, if you just have to get a card out, that seems like that would be the play right there. And he seems like just like a level 1, like you try and get a card out. Kite Glider. Give a minion agile until the end of the turn. Alright, let's open the next one. Ooh. Let's see what it is. The Black Cadejo. I think I have the white one already, so that should help out the yellow deck quite a bit. And I have that one. Minimize all other minions, +1/0 overrun. Overrun's really nice. Like if you're fighting someone who's got like low health, then you like do the overrun to like you get it and you give it to all your minions, you can rush through and destroy the rest of their HP. Alacrity. I don't really know why that one was special. I don't get it. Minions +1/0. Alright. Well, I'll take it as that, meaning that I got something very, very special in this one. I got a wild, I got 10-foot soldiers, 2 wilds, and this one. Give all minions blight. Let's see. Huh. That doesn't really seem like that would help me that much. I don't know what you think, but that doesn't seem like it'll help me. I guess that one was a free one, huh? I just got that one. Awaken minion. That could be really helpful if you're running a yellow for a control deck. Weishi Green is created with strength and health equal to the number of minions in play, including itself. Wow. If you get that out with like a max board on like either you or your opponent's side, if they don't shut that down, it could be pretty disastrous. That could be why I see a bunch of people running like green-yellow. Vedma Flamespar. That's pretty nice. That's like Ignition, but it costs a little more. Yeah, I already got that one, and I think I got plenty of those. They'll just be auto disenchanted. Gets +1/1 when another minion dies. At the start of your turn, get -1/1. So that seems like a card that would be that seems like a card that would be useful if you kill more, or you're planning on killing more than one minion, and it's very situational to go into a deck right now. I'm not sure I fully see why it's going that direction. Uh-oh, the game freeze? There we go. Ice Spike I always find useful, especially when I'm running blue for early game damage. If they get little creatures out that are kind of like really weak, like this one, like the Axeman. Defender, life tap, immobile. That's useful to help you just like stay alive and steady the incoming damage, or stop it just a little bit. And then Nothing too special here. Frenzy, attack twice. Seems like he'd be useful for green yellow, like I said earlier. When you cast a spell, go of all your minions +1/0 until next turn. That's a pretty cool item card. That could be quite useful. Alright, occupying minion, that's just a lane card. Give a minion +2/+2 regen. Overrun, awaken, reveal your opponent's hand. I don't really understand. Like, I understand a little bit of why you would want that, but I don't understand like why you would prioritize that over something else in your deck with 1 energy. Decay, destroy an enchantment. Useful if somebody's running like this one and they get +2/0. Baku Bogeyman, huh? Unsuppressible. Awaken. You and your opponent discard this card. The minion in the opposite lane is suppressed. Seems pretty nice. Like, it could be helpful. Alright. Storm Dot +1. I find this is really good for like ramping up your damage or your defenses or your offense quite a bit. Especially if you like get it out there as soon as you can and the opponent has like a really bad hand. And then you put out other Valkyries so that this one stacks. Like, you put out the Valkyries in not so smart positions on purpose so that your enemy will come in and attack it, and then this one just gets stronger. Maybe they didn't read the card or they're not sure what it's doing. Had that one earlier. Banish the top 4 cards of your opponent's boneyard. Means that they won't get those back. That's actually pretty strong. I can see where that would be really useful. That could be useful only if like your opponent has, let's say, like, I don't know, maybe like this guy, and you don't have an answer for it just yet and you're hoping you can get one next time. You can play that against like something like that. Awaken, draw a card. Divination, then draw 2 cards. Divination, you look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Vicious Cycle, destroy a minion and its controller draws a card. Nice, right there. I like that look. That guy's my little avatar I have. Pretty useful. Not as useful as one would think, but it's fairly useful. Spinneret, give another minion ephemeral, my mistake. Removed from the game when leaving play, goes to the boneyard or returning to a deck. Pack Trooper. See, that could be why people run blue-green decks, is if they're running like K9 or like the Wolves, and you go with that. Return an enchantment, always useful. Whoa. Alright. Kushiel, the Unforgiving. Slayer 2, combat damage is increased by 2 while fighting another minion. Also has really high defense. And if it kills another minion, it gets like Frenzy. Like, so say I'm fighting like this guy, and I'm fighting Sweet Spinneret. I get an attack again, another action. Nice. Alright, what do we see here? Agile, pretty nice. It suppresses it also. That's a good control card if you're trying to, both of these actually, if you're trying to just get them out there and like stay your opponent for a minute. Pretty nice, helpful. Give friendly minions armor, we've seen that one. Grease Monkey, it's okay for blue decks if you're running the Valkyries. Give a minion +1/1 and it's now a soldier. That's helpful for like yellow decks whenever they have other soldiers or cards, kind of like the one that increases damage based on how many soldiers you have out on the field. Timber and Troll, regen +1. Someone attacks it with +1 like this guy early game, gets to stay all that damage. You're nice. You're covered. Pack Mentality, K9, like I said earlier. Steam Bun, add Squire Pike to your hand. See, I really like just like the whole idea of purple and like it's Japanese influence that it seems to have that goes along with it. And then Magpie Squad Leader, like I said, just helps basically if you're running people on either side, pretty nice. This one, Strigoi Familiar, Swift. It's an additional move action, so you can pretty much move for free. Bulwark, give a minion +2. Piercing damage is always nice. It just goes straight through their armor. Especially if they've got like a high defense character out there, you can try and get rid of them quick. Anything else that sticks out? Give all minions deadly. I don't think I've seen that. Okay. That could be pretty helpful, but it also says all minions, so you gotta be careful whenever you play a card like that. Wonder Drug. Gain 4 life, draw a card. If you have that, I have that one. That's pretty useful. I've used that before in a deck. Pushioni is pretty fun, especially with his Awaken. Just gonna move a minion wherever you want. So like say, I don't know, they have something that's really strong, like this Samuzin. Not really strong, but it's all isolated by itself in the left too, and you play your Pushioni, and then you can push it over here to say like where you have the rest of your squad set up so that it can't attack or it can't do anything. Pretty fun. That's nice. This one's really nice, especially if you're running like desert and people get advantages towards what like +1/1 for being on desert. Gain 3 life, draw a card. Relatively high HP, but he's a high energy cost, so I mean it'll have its uses, I'm sure. Boom, 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 boom. I think this one's a new one. Awaken Divination. Look at cards. Returns to owner hand. Oh, so I think that means like as soon as I play this, it returns 1 energy to my hand of that color. That one, I've got that one in my deck. Desolate Drone. All other minions have -1/0 during my turn. Pretty nice, especially for like early game, trying to shut people down or make them weaker so that you can strategically get out stronger cards. It could be really helpful there. Black Jotun, Overrun, pretty cool card. Mothmara, Lurker, Foul Harvest, sacrificed enemy minions. Swift, you get a move, Awaken, Healing Potion. That's another reason why I really like the purple deck, is because they have all these extra cards and some of them actually give you free stuff that costs 0 mana, like that Healing Potion. Maelstrom, deal 1 damage to minions in the 3 opposing lanes. I already like that card just because it seems like it's a trolley card to try and get out onto somebody. And you just play that, and then like say they got low level people, it's early game, done. Like play it against that one. She can't go anywhere. She's gonna die soon. All right. Stealth is also pretty nice mechanic. Means that they can see that you played a card, but they don't know what it is. So if they're not really familiar with purple, or they're not sure what you could be playing, like yeah, this one's 4, but at the same time, it could be really push somebody to be hesitant to attack it because they might lose something. Like say, oh, I don't have a 3/2 up here, but if I had a 2/2, if I had a 2/2, like say this Valkyrie Tough was 2/2, Well, actually, this guy gets +2/2 at the start of my turn while in stealth, so I think I could just attack and that wouldn't be that. But if this one was 2/2 and she attacked me, it would basically just kill her, and then I would turn around with 1/1, and then I'd get the +2 at my turn. Agile Breach, extra damage. That's pretty helpful. Very situational, depends on when you play it versus what your opponent already has on the field. Cast on a minion to deal damage to its opposing player equal to its strength, then lock its strength to 0. So, say like this is attacking this one, it'll lock its strength to 0, so it's basically just kind of like a lurker, but you can't really pull it off until it's dead. Not sure how I feel about that card. Volcanic Risi, or Risi, however you pronounce it. Anyways, deal 4 damage to your opponent. I like this card. I really like the card art. Looks really nice. It's funny. Also, the Awaken is good. Blast 4 deals adjacent damage. So if you can get her out, and they're throwing out stuff like this because they don't have any sort of, you know, any cards like what they're looking for. Like they don't have this or this out on top of, like, say they're running blue yellow. They don't have this, and this guy's not up there, and he can't be 4/4. And she attacks like this card, he'll take all that damage, and he's just out of there. Like no more, nothing. Awaken, draw a card, divination. Not a real fan of that card right there. Alright, Lamia's Kiss, turn it into a vampire. Good if you're running vampire red deck. There you go, simple. Deal 3 damage to anyone. That's alright. Seen that one. Give a minion +1 for each Matryoshka you control until end of turn. Not sure what that is, really, or if I have it. I mean, I have the card right now, obviously, but... Oh, it's stacking, so if I put like 2 or 3 of those into my deck, and I put that off to the side and they're activated, it'll add stuff to them, like, say I'm running green, yellow. It'll, and I have 2 of these stacked, it'll make this one be 2/5 and 4/4. Pretty cool. Bakubogiman. We got that one earlier. Pretty nice. A little simple. Oh, alright. Got it. Destroys minion and its controller draws a card. Cool. Overrun. Really cool mechanic. Any extra damage goes directly to the opponent. The Slayer. Combat damage increased. Gain 3 life, draw a card. We got that one earlier also. Wild. Those are always useful when crafting decks. Hatchling. Got that one. Banish a minion in any boneyard and it fully heals. Seems alright. Banish is a really interesting mechanic in this game. I fully don't understand exactly how it works right now, but I'm getting there. It'll take a little bit more play time. Alright, parse of regulars. This one had a funny color, so we're just gonna, whenever it flips, so we're just gonna check it out. Demise, destroyed. Add that to your hand. So this could be useful for like running like a stacking, stacking kind of deck where you get this out and you got 5 mana. You can put this one. You add this one to the table, then you add the parse of recruit to your table also, because it just goes straight to your hand. Create a 0/1 statue. I've done that. It's not very useful, but it's helpful early game. Like if they're just obliterating you with like this guy and you're taking 5 damage for no reason because you can't get any cards because you got all 5s or whatever, and you can't declare mulligan in this game yet. Alright. Nullify special abilities, buffs, and debuffs. Nice! I can't tell you how many times I've had... What? Wild Core Mythic Orange, but the color's blue. Oh, I guess it's going off of that. Whatever that means. I've had enchantments and everything just like be the reason why I lost. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Faceless Construct. His mana cost might be like a little bit too high, but that's just my opinion. I think he should probably have like maybe a 5. The Parsa Immortal's neat. Like it says right here, it fully heals at the end of your turn. So like if they don't have something that can kill you, or you take defensive damage because you attack something and it had 3 attack power and you end, she goes back to 4/4, and then it just becomes a struggle. Got that one literally earlier, like 2 packs ago. Let us see what we received. Respawn. Swarm Mother, great to just throw out there. Defense bot. Banish bottom 2 cards. Respawn. Give a minion demise? Huh. Yeah, but it doesn't say what ability it would give them to... Unless it gives it ephemeral. I'll learn how to pronounce that by the end of this. Allfather's Horn, yes. Yes, 100,000 times yes. If you're not running this in your deck, you should probably put this in there if you're running any sort of blue deck. I was playing earlier against somebody, and that was pretty much the only reason why I won. It came down to like us having 5 life and he had like 7, and we each had like 7 or 8 mana. I played all my cards out on the table, and then I did this, and I played the rest of like my spells and everything else in my enchantments to like nullify what he had. It like reset everything, and I was able to go through and re-attack and like double attack my people like they all had frenzy. Very, very useful card. I thoroughly enjoy that. I love Allfather Swarm. Alrighty, minion 2/1, pretty nice, useful. Minus 3/0 or return an artifact. This is actually a pretty nice card, just to try and gain control against your opponent. Like say they got these things out on the table or whatever, you just run out a Triaka Sect. Sword Saint. Oh, I like that card too. That one, it's just fun. This is why one of the reasons why I really like purple, and why I made like a purple blue deck. Because purple gives you like a bunch of resources and helps control, and then purple gives you a bunch of these kind of cards, and they help you like early game and help elevate this, and then once you get to blue mid to late game, it helps set it all off. You run the Allfather Sworn and you just come back. Jotun's Shatterfist. Really like that card. High damage, nice mana cost, decent energy because you'll already have that by the time you got 5 mana. Totally worth. See, I used to hate this card, and I would always just burn it if I got it. And then the other day, I was playing against somebody, and it was one of the mythic blues that basically gets like +1/+1 after anything dies, or after every turn, or your opponent discards something. I'll show it in a minute. And like I got it down to like 1 defense and like 3 HP, and it was gonna die the next turn, and she just healed it, and that's what lost me that game. I I was a little bit salty after that. You could pretty much just shake it. You could call me the Pacific Ocean if you wanted to. It was pretty bad. Sea Lord's Trident. Create a 4/2 Fell Kraken if you don't control one already. Huh. That's interesting. I didn't even know that that card existed. Alright, I'm gonna go show you that card that killed me earlier. What? No, go back. Collections. Cards. Show the blue, and I think it's this one. She was this one, I think. Yeah. Oh, it creates a minion. So it was this one, yeah. And anytime I tried to create something to come back and fight against her, she just healed and healed, and then I knocked her down quite a bit. That mana cost needs to be increased. I think she needs to be like a 5. But every time I went to go attack her and make a new minion and help myself out so I could try and dig myself out of that hole, she just got stronger and stronger, and whenever I almost killed her, she healed her. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. Alright. This is like that 4/4 yellow card we got earlier. Fully heals, and especially since if you can get it out early, it helps just like hold the battlefield off so that you can get ready and prep for bigger cards. Returns to your hand from the boneyard. Cool. Pulse Mjolnir. Given enemy damage when dealing combat damage equals damage to its controller. So if you got like a high card out there, which I don't really have, like that 7/7 we got earlier, you could put that on him, and then it goes also to the controller. That's pretty nice if you're fighting an opponent or like their defenses are quite low. We got that one earlier. You can just put that on whatever you want. Like you could put it on this guy right here if you're running orange-green, and as soon as he attacks anybody, they kill him. I had that ran against me on a yellow deck, and like whatever they were running, it had deadly on everything on the table. I couldn't do anything. Nice. Crocs. So I don't like wearing Crocs, but I mean they put them in the game, so I guess it's Croc approved. Huh. That seems like it's a good control card, especially if you're just trying to like get rid of their deck so that they start taking damage. Alpha, Strike, Frenzy, nothing too special there. Pentacle of Flavors. This does a lot for its relatively low mana cost. So if you get like a high cost minion out there and you stack that on top of it, seems like that minion would probably be unstoppable. Unless they had like that blue card that does like 20 damage to stuff. It's not 20, it's like 5. Or the Maelstrom card I got earlier. Stunned. Look at the top 3 cards. See, I played Dora earlier. I didn't like it in my deck. Stab Crab, whatever. Draugr. I guess this is like Skyrim. And it's kind of Norse related anyways. Can only be played that. Fully heals whenever a minion dies. Nice. I like that. I like the idea of that, especially since it's stronger, but its defenses are relatively low, so you just gotta be careful and mindful where you place it. I also like this one, because if you're stacking like the blue, not blue, if you're stacking the yellow and orange deck, you can put them side by side with, and they'll get the +1/+1s, or like how many ever dogs you have or whatever, or soldiers. You can use this guy and put them beside each other and just like make him pretty, you can make a deadly combo there. Yep, let's open the cards. There we go. Oh, I guess I got Splicing Lab earlier. The thing I don't like about it is that it's random and it always changes. But I could see where it has its uses. Lurker, Piercing, Life tap, you run a vampire is always useful. Agile early game, not bad, but rather run something like this where I get a flame scroll. Create 1/1 cadets. That could be useful if you're just trying to fill the battlefield. Pretty nice. The armor, piercing, slayer. Again, I think, like, granted it does have a lot and its defenses are 2, but by the time you get ready to get that card out, your opponent's probably going to have something that's going to just be able to kill it in one shot even through its armor, because it has double yellow energy plus 4 mana required. Like, I don't know, it just seems like it'd be iffy. Got that one earlier, put that on an OP card, and then just watch your opponent try and suffer. Fully heals, like those kind of cards. It makes me kind of want to try and run a orange-blue deck, just to see how that would go. Life tap. Very, very useful for whatever you're mixing with bread. Look at that card art though. Such detail. Anyways, I haven't seen that card before, that's what I was looking at. Cataclysm. This is that blue one that I was talking about, that you play this one, like, you play it 2 turns back to back if you get it, or you put it in your deck because you're afraid of an opponent getting out of control. I haven't seen anything yet get above 10 damage or 10 defense. I'm sure they have been, but that's just me. This card has saved opponents' lives against me at least 4 times, especially since it's low cost. You can put 2 or 3 of them in your deck and not really get punished for having them in there, because it just saves you. Such a ridiculous card. I was playing against somebody yesterday. They played that and then they ended up they played it 3 times, I think, and they got to like 32 life. It was ridiculous, especially because they had like life tap minions. It was, ooh. I was not happy at the end of that game. Yesterday wasn't a fantastic good day for me. We got this one earlier. It's alright. Kite glider, give a minion agile until the end of the turn. That's useful, especially with it like running anything purple. Circle of protection. That's a useful thing to just throw in there to try and protect your cards. But you gotta play that at the right time or else it's just wasted. Norn data core. For every 2 lightning bolts, energy, gain 1 temporary mana, then lose that much. Huh. So I guess it's something that you can retrieve after every 2 turns or whatever, so you can get extra mana to just keep throwing out cards. Seems alright for its cost. Hopeless Necromantic. I gotta say, I haven't seen that card art before, but I already like it. It looks like Lord of the Rings, like Return of the King, when he gets the ghost army to come fight. Fort Breach. Nice. Alright. This is the canine thing I was talking about earlier. I like this guy, but at the same time, because he has such a high mana cost, it just, I don't know. It kind of, I feel like maybe they could reduce that down to 2 and make that 4, and he wouldn't be as bad, because he has really low health, and I don't really think there's anything that can save him. But I mean, it is only on Awakening, so I mean, he is strong for that, and you wouldn't want to get him out early, like making him too early, like a 2 and doing 3 damage. That would seem ridiculous. Aristoter. I haven't seen that one. That's pretty nice. Just a lurker. Warded, overrun. Damage destroyed. Nice. I gotta say, looks like a rhino unicorn horse thingy. Indric Beast, I guess. That's what they're calling it. That's always useful, especially whenever you're playing early game and you're running out of mana. You play this card, you got 4 mana, you can play a 2 right after because it returns 1. Pretty nice. Frenzy, Swift and Teleport, kinda useful. Give a minion plus that could be really useful, especially since it has a low mana cost. Once per turn, agile and rush. That's alright. I don't really see what the big deal was behind that one. Winter Wolf, nice canine idea for canine decks. Spirit Sender, no. Ephemeral. Alright, what are you? Howling Abyssal. Demise. All players discard at random until they have 5 or less cards in their hand. Wow. So like if you play against those people who are really conservative with their deck, and they're just like not playing cards and they're just stacking cards because you think something's going up, just play that. Boom. Played it, got it. Mathrama and Lurker. I don't really understand why that one's a Lurker. It's only got 2 defense. Warfan. All players have their mana cost reduced by 2. If you're confident in your playing and your playstyle and you trust that you really believe that you can win that game, play the card. If you're a little unsure, burn it, keep it in your hand, do what you gotta do. I see its uses, but at the same time it's like, eh. Oh, well. Thanks, Simp. Thanks for the follow. Means a lot, buddy. Waken an Adamant Pearl. See, this is why I like purple. The one that gives you the cloaks is probably one of my favorite. Barred Bolts, haven't seen that one. Give a minion +1/1. This artifact loses its durability by 3. Either way, you can probably do that 3 times, I'm assuming, because it has 9 durability. As long as your opponent's not constantly attacking you. Pretty nice. Born Again. Returns to your hand from the Boneyard at the end of your turn. Again, one of those cards where you're just like, okay. And like, you just gotta keep playing and playing and playing and playing. Like, they kill it, you can play it again next turn. You don't have, say that you've got like a bunch of 5s or whatever, and you don't have any 2s, but this one, get that one out there, they kill it, just keep throwing it out there until you get cards like this that you can play. That's all you really can do in situations sometimes. Alright, what do we got? Blood Idol. Add a recruit. See, this one makes me think that like this and purple could be pretty well together. But I don't think I've seen anyone with orange purple. What about you? Got this one earlier. Okay, what are you? Slayer 3, nice. Oh, you give a minion. Alright. And it only costs 1. Okay. I feel like if you're giving somebody Slayer 3, that should at least cost 2 to 3. It should be equal, somewhat relatively equal to its damage that it can put out. I feel like that should be a cost for mana. Maybe even have 2 as a requirement, 2 energy right here. Because, like, you put that onto this guy, he he also gets Lurker, he deals damage, and he'll be 5/5 whenever he's attacking anybody. So like he could easily destroy either one of those. Hungry Ghost, 1/1. When another minion dies at the start of your turn, you get -1. So if basically if you're just killing each other, trading blows back and forth on the battlefield of the cards, you can get really strong if you're killing more than 2 per turn. If you're not, I would say probably not the safest card to put in there. Well, if I didn't have the white Cadejo, I do now. Thoracic Kraken, nice. I think I put that in my deck I made the other day, but I deleted it because I was mad because it didn't work out whenever I was playing it. So I was like, forget it. Stop. Decoy. Huh. See, the stealth cards, they'll be the ones that get you. She seems cool. It's kind of like First Strike, but not as strong. So like, you play her, and then like Ankle Biter wants to attack her. He already dies before he even starts because he's taking 2 damage. I definitely see the usefulness out of that card. You have to be moving like a, I don't know. To me, that doesn't seem like it's that special because you have to have minions on there who want to move, and then you gotta want to play that card. And the cards, it's fair, but I mean, it does have regen, so that's always a plus. I like these kind of cards. They always seem fun, but like his mana relatively equal because you can't kill him in one turn. Like I was saying, you put those regen cards with it or something like that, or like a heal potion on it. Could be all right. Clay Effigy, again, not really a fan of that card. It's only useful really early game if they're doing like unanswered damage because you got high cards. Juiced. Friendly minions in 3 adjacent lanes get +1/1. The thing about that card is I didn't understand it whenever I first read it. I know now, but I didn't then. I played it against myself because I played it against, like, say this is the enemy, this is my hand. I played it up there because I was like, oh, adjacent lanes, it'll give all of us +1 and then we'll be fine. No. It gave only his people because I misread it. I wasn't really paying attention. I was tired. And I wasn't too happy with that. What is this? It's created with 2 strength and health for every unique color of gem on your mana bar. Not a huge fan of cards like that or anything like that in general, because in order for it to be effective, like, to me, you have to be running minimum 2-color deck with splash, like 1 or 2 purple that cost like relatively low, because you're not going to get any more purple than that. Like something like this of like another color in order for that to be useful. Maybe even 2, so you can run, it'll be 4/4 whenever it comes out. But for me, its mana cost is too high, and I mean 2, 4, 6. Yeah, you'd have to run at least 3. You could run 2. It'd probably be effective for like a mid-game card being 4/4, but at the same time, if you can get it out for 3 and it only costs 2, it would be worth it to have something like a 1 purple that you can just throw out, or something like this. Have like 2 purples in your hand, you get to throw out both of them. There you go, and then you get to discard them both. They're on your mana bar. You got 6/6 coming out. If you want, you could throw in a 4th one if you're running that, but I would not go more than 3 at all. Alright, Battle Chef adds that walk to your hand. Yep. Really nice because it gives it regen, like I was just talking about. Plus, it makes them more tanky. You always want tanky on your decks. Useful again, early game. Throw it out there. Kills any one of these creatures. Well, it'll kill this one. But you know what I mean. Again, had this card used against me the other day. It won them the game. Because I couldn't, because they were playing really low cards, like with this kind of stat right here with 2-1, and it was turning out to be 3-2 and 4-5 and 5-6, and then it just got out of hand because I couldn't answer it because I couldn't deal any damage because everything she was playing was too hard, and my cards just weren't acting right. All right, halfway through. Next pack incoming. What do you think? You think I should wait? Why is this white? Oh, that's that special card. Yep. So that, like, even if you don't have this one right here, this one's really useful. I do like this one. Because, or even this one, but like if you don't have this one in your hand, you can play this one. Well, once. No, it's not. I'm thinking of the wrong one. Backtrack on that. There is a card where, like, if you don't have this one in your deck at all and you play this one, it'll add like the other version to your hand, like its counter card. But it's not this one. This one just gives more life and defense. Very, very useful for a yellow deck. Maybe not core, but I do see its uses. Ow. Emperor Koi, nice. Dead Man's Eyes. That doesn't. I don't see. I can't justify putting that into my deck. Because A, they already don't have a coin in the game to signify who's going first, and that really, like, that gets me, like, at my bones. That agitates me beyond belief. But, like, they should have something, and then they should have, like, also a mulligan card type thing. That's that card we were talking about earlier. They start stacking cards, you just get to play that, and then if you're low, you get to keep all your cards. If they're high, they get to lose them all. What do we got here? Fawn of Decay. Healing Potion. Again, that's why I like purple. Nice. Running a mixed color deck here. Very useful. Yellow seems really versatile. Have you noticed that? Like, yellow seems to have like a lot of different colors that can go with it. The other ones do too, but I just seem to see a lot more of yellow. Maybe it's secretly OP and nobody's told me yet. Daring Trapezist, anything here? That's fair. If you're running the K9 deck like I was talking about earlier, there you go. There's that +2 for each adjacent minion. The Scion of Pride. Alright, let's see what we got here. Awaken. Add Pride of Place to your hand. Alright, and I'm immune to damage from spirits. I'm sure that there's a spirit kind of deck over here, or a spirit kind of card. When attacking... Wait, who gets overrun? You do. Nice. And you're relatively low mana cost and energy. And you have overrun. If you can get it out early enough, it'd be really nice. And then... Wow. So you get to remove all of a minion's abilities and transform it into a spirit lion that has 4/4. So if you can essentially get this card, like, first 4 or 5 plays of the game, probably round 5, if you're running, say, I don't know, this one and Daring Trapezist, since we can see that card, you just play this guy on top of her, and then you got 2 4/4s on the field, then you can hopefully start to gain some control and start with the start running that board on him. What do we got here? Demise, deal 3 damage. Useful card. Yeah. Alright, and I don't know if they can see which minion you choose to put that on. Zen Archer, Phoenix Feather. Wait, what's a Phoenix Feather? You have a friendly minion, Slayer 2. Okay. An enemy minion with agile attacks, it must first take 2 damage. Yo! See, purple's got like all these weird kind of extra effects that people don't think of, or like they don't read, or that they would just overlook. But seems pretty cool. Helm of Conscription. 1/1, now a soldier. I guess you can do that every turn, and if you're running the yellow soldiers deck instead of the K9 half, build up that deck pretty high. Burn of Denial suppressed. Wow, what is it? Herald of War. Warded. Cannot be damaged or destroyed outside combat. Cool, got it. Awaken an ability. Destroy all enchantments. Is created with 1 more strength and health for each enchantment destroyed in this way. So for that to... I do like the card. I like the warded concept of it. But like your opponent and you, since it has such a high mana cost or energy, 2/2, not a big deal. HP, not a huge deal. But because it goes up, I feel like this could go down to 6. Like realistically, the cost could go down to 6 energy. But for it to be like super effective at its cost, like if you're gonna play that card, you and your opponent have to lose at least 1 enchantment on the field. Like even if you're stacking, like say you're running like the orange blue deck and you've got like 3 blues on your field, that could work. Like for this to be effective in my eyes, I think that you have to be able to destroy at least 2 enchantments. Like 2 of these. Well, that's not a enchantment. Whatever. You know what I mean. Alright, what do we got here? Occupying minion. Like this. You'd have to destroy 2 of these. Earth enchantment. +1/0 for minion that has died on this enchantment. That card also puts a sour taste in my mouth. I had that one used against me, and I didn't know what it meant, and it just lost that game too. Cost all of your mana to deal that much damage to a minion, granting me equal life. What? I don't. What's that Captain America symbol up there? Does that just mean it can be played for free as long as I have 3 mana, and that's what it costs? I'm assuming. And it's a vampire spell, so I think that that's pretty useful. Especially if you're in that late game stage. Like, and you have, I'd say you'd probably have to have at least 7, 8 mana down below. You play this, you'll have 5 left, and then you can just take out a card. I'd say, yeah, probably around 6, 7 mana at least. And then maybe some other cards that give you mana return. I always like the fragile cards. I play them. It makes them significantly weaker on the other side. They take so much extra damage. It's good. I like that card. See? You could do red, yellow. Just place that down. There you go. You got +1s, and +2s all over the place. Plus you can put this guy right on top of them. And like if he doesn't die, he helps everybody else out beside him. So that would be like +4. So like say something died on that one in the last turn. You play this guy, and you play this guy's already on the field, and then you put this guy down. He already has 3, 2. And if they kill another minion, not necessarily this one, but if they kill another one, he'll go up even higher. He'll go up to a 5/4, and that's just because of the simple effects that are on the board. Dragon's Teeth stacking, draw a card. I've had it. Card's alright, but it is what it is. Jaded Cortia, huh? Awaken, deal 1 damage to your opponent. That's alright. Armor. Stun. Pretty useful early game, but I feel like it's not really that helpful. He's basically like a 1/3 bot, and you can't really do any damage. So I feel like decreases mana down to 1. Just saying. Got this one earlier. They get to move wherever they want and attack, or they get to attack wherever they want. See, this guy's worth it for his cost, like I was saying earlier. Overrun, nice ability. Andy has armor. So Andy's a K9 soldier. Don't know if there's necessarily like a comma or an ellipsis there, or like saying that he fulfills both of those requirements if you're running that kind of deck. But 5, 2 energy, armor, overrun, so he's basically like a 5/6. Useful card, nice. I like it. I'm a fan. So Melanoy or Melanoa. I'm just gonna say Melanoy, I guess. I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't know what the E and 2 dots above it is pronounced like. So she's a lurker. When one of your other minion dies, add a 2/1 forlorn spirit to your damage. The thing I don't like about this kind of card is this. It hurts you too whenever you play it. But if you're playing your cards right and you're running like a vampire spirit deck with life tap on a couple of vampire cards, fine, perfect. You'll be able to sustain that damage all day. But if you're not running something that can help you sustain taking that damage, it doesn't seem like it's really worth it for this card to be in your deck. Yeah, life tap. Plus he has agile strike. Or alpha strike. I love alpha strike. Very good, very cool mechanic. I'm a huge fan of that. Frenzy, I've seen it on some cards that I don't think it should be on, and it's still a really cool mechanic though. Don't get me wrong. What? Did it open that already? Oh. Raid of the Tombs. Banish the bottom 2 cards of your boneyard in order to draw 2 cards. Seems like you gotta want to get rid of some stuff. But if you play this and you don't have any cards in your boneyard, do you still get to draw the 2 cards? Just a question, trying to figure that out there. Alright, back to this one. Oh, I haven't seen Mind Freak. Look at the enemy player's hand. Wait, it becomes ephemeral and its mana cost is increased by 2. Wow. So you could essentially just like, if they're trying to get something out early mid game, like you know that they've already got 2 mana, and you know that they're gonna play this because they don't have anything else that can go in. You do that. It now costs 4 mana to be able to play, like for them to have out. Marching order, shift a player's minions enchantment as far to the left or right as possible. That's fair. It's like a control item. Help you run the board. Make them have to move people around if they want to keep that enchantment out. Pretty nice. There's the white Kadeho again. What are you? Spiteful Mimic. Why do you have a tentacle in your mouth? Shouldn't it be like from the back? Or is it coming through there, through your treasure, and then it's coming out the top? If so, why haven't you bit it yet? Because you're a mimic? Anyways, enough about that. Energies can generate or consume energies. Abilities. Identify hidden. Identity is hidden from opponent and blocks like a regular minion until it's dealt damage. Interacts with other players or takes a non-combat move action. Drag down to action cost. Okay, whatever. Stealth. Your opponent takes X amount of damage and discards X amount of cards, then I disable that ability. Huh. That's useful. Plus, it's actually not a bad cost or anything else. I think that card is actually worth it if you're running like maybe mono purple. Adding it with mixed colors, maybe not so much, but you know. 30 packs left. Let's go. Alright. Exodal, it works for his early game, helps you get through it. Lurker, whatever. Occupying minion has +1/0 when occupying damage to all minion players. That's useful. I can see where that'd be helpful. Return a minion from your boneyard to the hand. I do like those kind of cards. And I like this one even more. 'Cause like I said earlier when I got it, seems like it's a really troll kind of card, and you can inflict damage on your opponent quite easily. Like especially if it's early game, you can pretty much make them regret everything that they're doing. Alright, Awaken. Phoenix Feather, that one's the cool one. Gives minion Slayer +1/0. Oh wait, an enchantment. Give a minion +1/+1 for each. Oh, that's the stacking one that I was talking about earlier that I didn't understand. I got it now though. That one's pretty cool. Valkyrie. Not a huge fan of most of the Valkyrie cards. They seem a little like kind of forced into the game. That's just my opinion. If cast, to replace a desert enchantment, gets occupying minion has Swift. When you create a non-ephemeral minion in this lane, add a 3/2 insurgent to your hand. I like that. It costs 2, has 2 mana associated. I mean, that can be useful, especially if you're playing that enchantment card that makes 3 of your lanes turn to desert, and then now they're losing that, and I don't know. I definitely see the usefulness in that one, because like this one creates it into a desert, and then if you put this one down on top of that, you get an extra 3/2 monster. Seems pretty nice if you ask me. Alright, Brass Bouncer. Haven't seen that one. After combat, return the attacking minion to its owner hand if it survives. Useful. So like if they have really... I don't have a card up here that's appropriate for that, but yeah, we'll do this one. If they have a freaky scout out and you play it, it returns back to their hand. But I mean, I'm sure it's undamaged whenever they lay it again. That one, we talked about that earlier. Welcome, friend. How are you? This is what I was talking about. Like, this is the kind of thing that if you're running that Forlorn Spirit card that drops that into your deck, you have to have something like this to help you sustain it. So like if you get 2 or 3 of the Forlorn Spirits that are already in your deck and you play them and you keep losing life, you play this, it'll make up for it plus some. With life tap, you can easily get your life super high and then just start running through your opponent. Magmatar. Awaken, deal 3 damage to minions. Oh, we saw that one earlier. Pretty useful. I do think his cost is a little high. Even if you move that to 2 and change that to 4, I think would be just fine. But 5 I think is a little high, especially since his damage isn't that high at all to begin with. But that's just me. That's my opinion. I'm sure the devs will come out with balancing here in a little bit. Forlorn Spirit again, 1 damage. That other card I was talking about. Goliath's Web. Awaken creates a 1/3 Goliath spider in this lane. Occupying minion has deadly. Non-spider minions in the opposing 3 lanes have Agile and Alpha Strike oppressed. So if they're running like a K9 blue or K9 yellow deck, like, because a bunch of the K9s and dogs have actually Alpha Strike, that could be really helpful. I think there's only 2 or 3 red cards that do, but I've seen a lot of K9s who have it. 24 left. Oh, what's this one? Give 1 minion blight at the start of its turn. Oh, I guess you can give that to enemy minion. That's useful for controlling. I was thinking that's for you, and I was like, why would I want to give my minion -1/1? But I realized that goes to somebody else. Talked about this card earlier. I do think that that card is really strong in its current state, and if you can get it out, more power to you. I think that should definitely be in a green deck if you're running it. Demise is replaced at the bottom. Minion in my boneyard. Give that minion a fair. Oh, we talked about that earlier. What's this one do? Norn data core. We talked about that. That one's it's whatever. I do not know what focused is. I haven't seen this card. Combat damage is increased while fighting a minion or attacking a player through the opposite lane. So essentially, for his cost, he is a 7/6 with 4 cost. So I would say probably put that in your red deck if you can find a way. There's your K9s. Extract life. Cost all remaining. Yeah, we went over that. I think you basically would have to have at least 3. Not 3. At least 6 to 7 mana or more for that to be a useful card in your deck. And then you can, like, destroy this card or that card. Or even that one. But I think you have to have a minimum of 6 and only be able to play that one. See, that's why yellow blue could be really strong. You got K9s everywhere. Fair. What are you? Overrun, swift, and teleport. Swift, teleport. Nice. So pretty strong. He can move wherever he wants, especially if you're on an orange deck. Nice. I mean, it works for me. It might work for you. Feel it. Let's go. Alpha Strike. Like those cards already. Especially if you're like in a defensive position. It'll deal damage first. Love those kind of cards. Cast on a minion to deal damage to its opposing player equal to its strength. Then lock its strength to 0. So basically if you get this card and you're running this one, you put this onto this guy and he'll do 1 damage directly to the opponent, and then he'll just be like a defense bot to block up a spot. That's alright. I see where it could be useful, but I also see where it may hurt you. But if you can also cast it on an enemy minion, that might be, if you can afford to take that extra damage, that might be worth looking into for that card in particular. I like this card. I like cards like this. You put down enchantments, like if you put down the +1/1 card that the blue one is, like the little foresty looking one, you know what I'm talking about. You put that one down, you put this on top of it. He's already at 5/5. Now he's 6/7, 7/7, and he only costs 4 mana. Like, basically, I like that card. Blood Dolls. Awaken. Give adjacent vampire minions +2/+1. All of your vampire minions are fully healed. Huh. Running a vampire deck? Throw it in there. That's, in my mind, a mid-game card that would help you accelerate you to the late game based on your mana and your discards that you have in your hand. I like it though. I feel like I can see where it's useful. of Denial. Nullifies all special abilities, buffs, and debuffs. So we went over that. If they're running the board with enchantments, cool. Like this one right here. If they're running the board with stuff like that, good on you. You can get rid of it. Dire Benediction. Cast on a minion to deal damage to... We have that one already. But, like I said, if you can afford to, like, say this one's in your way or something and you can't really take care of it right now, if you throw that onto your opponent and you just take the damage, would it be worth it to be able to, like, keep that guy from attacking you? Warded, cannot be attacked. Slayer, that's pretty nice. 3/2 essentially for 2 cost. This one, I feel like this one could be 4 with only 1 mana, because it's, while its Awaken is really strong, there's nothing else to really, I don't know, to justify putting this card out unless they have like a 5/5 and you just have to get that card out there to like send it back home and hope that they can't play it again. But I mean, then again, it only saves you for 1 turn, so you never know. Xerxian Recruiter. Awaken. Look at the top card of your deck. If it's a minion, draw it. If it's now a rebel permanently. Haven't looked too much into orange decks, but that sounds pretty interesting to me if you ask me. I'm sure that there's cards that help with weight, like rebels getting plus whatevers, or I don't know. I'm sure there's buff cards for rebel decks. Let us go. Field of Poppies. Minions in the opposing 3 lanes have fragile. Very useful for its cost, very efficient, and then you combine that with the wolf one that makes them have fragile 3 for like 2 mana. I wonder if they stack, and then they would be fragile 4, and you could attack them with someone so simple, like so small. This guy is nice. I like the Adamant Pearl. It's useful. I find those especially useful. Draw a card, then pick one and put it back into your deck. See, I mean, that one's fair, but it's I don't know, just has high defense. If you're trying to get a card out of your hand, yeah, sure, why not? But to me, I think red's just mainly used for vampires or splashing into it, or the carny ones. Little crane girl, that's useful. This one, that's a good mechanic. All these talks about the enchantments that I've been talking about, it destroys that enchantment. I mean, yeah, he's not very strong, and I see they went in the middle ground, which means that it could be very efficient for its attack and its defense. But I mean, who's to say? I'm not sure where it would fit in, but it has its niche environments. Alright, haven't seen this card before. Banish an enemy minion and all copies of it from the owner's lanes, hand, deck, and boneyard. Sacrifice that and 1 maximum mana. So is it just a one-time thing and you get to banish all sorts of cards from your opponent? Alright then. Beloved. I don't know. Tell me. While occupied, all combat damage dealt to your other minions is reduced to 1. Nice. Nice. We'll just leave it at that. I think that this is pretty useful for green. Say you get to mid game around 4 or 5 mana, and your opponent's just running the board with like a bunch of 5/6s and whatever, and you just can't answer it yet because you've got the wrong cards, you're not getting what you need out of your deck. Boom, you get this, you play it down. They basically only deal 1 damage. I can see where this has a use. Not like some of the other cards I've been talking about, but you know, it is what it is. canine spell. Combat damage is increased by 1 while fighting a minion or attacking a player through the opposite lane. Could be really nice, depending on what kind of deck you're running. The cost is a little up there, but I feel like it's justified. Wait, give a minion focused frenzy. Oh, I don't know if that would necessarily kill a minion. So like say if you place this onto this guy and he only has 1 defense anyways, would that necessarily kill him? I'm not sure about some interactions with cards and mixing the colors, or if you would even be allowed to play it on him because it would kill him anyways. But I mean, realistically, you wouldn't want to put this on that guy. It just would be interesting to see how that worked. Move enchantments, we went over that earlier. Volcanic Receive. Synapse Overclock, +2/0 and Alpha Strike. That guy looks like a beast. Let's just leave it at that. Beast mode on that guy. This one. This is the one I was saying. I wonder if it could stack with that blue one from earlier that gives it +1. If I don't know, like it's just it would be interesting to see if they stack. Give enemies like +4 fragile. This guy. One of my favorite card arts that I've seen in game yet. In fact, I might make that like for the video YouTube thumb art. Samosek, the living sword, stacking and piercing, stacks with other artifacts of the same name, occupying a single slot. Piercing, damage dealing, piercing, ignore armor. If they're running like yellow red, which I know those have a bunch of armor right offhand, like because of the soldiers, and I'm not sure which ones reds do, but I know there's a couple, but the soldiers in yellow have armor. That's pretty useful, especially since that goes to all your minions. But after a minion deals combat damage to a player, it takes 2 damage and this artifact loses 2 durability. You just have to make sure, like if you're doing this, you justify the cause. But if you're not attacking a player, then you might not have to worry about it as much. Hysterical strength +2. Oh, we went over that earlier. Pretty nice. Frenzy, cool. Oh. Gem Cutter Spider is created with 2 strength and health. We went over that already. If you're not running, I would say personally, if you're not running a 2-color main deck with like a splash of 1 color, then I don't think that this card's worth it. I mean, yeah, if you're running 2, it could pay out. It could be beneficial for that +4 that, or the 4 attack, 4 defense you get. But you would really thrive if you're running like yellow blue, like I've seen a bunch of people do, with like 2 red cards like this. That way you can just help stack it on your enemies or on your friendly people. Then you can create this card at 6/6 and it's gonna have a hard time being countered, especially if you can get this card early. What do we got here? Let's go. The Crocs! Mirage. If cast to replace. They did that one early. Focused. Like that one. Basically really low cost, very stat efficient, becomes 7/6 for attack and stuff. Balance. Draw a card for every minion your opponent controls. It's a little high cost for mana that you're going to be spending and to play. Move it down to 3, make it 1. That seems like a really kind of early game card just to get more cards into your hand. It seems like I don't have what I want, so I'm just going to play this. Like a desperation move. Shinobi of Smoke. Identity is hidden. Nice. I already like stealth cards as it is. And he doesn't take retaliatory damage and gets an additional move turn. He's very stat efficient for his cost, and since he can move out of the way, he can attack stuff, no retaliatory damage. I see that as a win. God's Bane Transport. Adjacent soldier minions have armor 2. Create 2/2 Magpie commandos with piercing in unoccupied adjacent lanes. So essentially, I actually like those cards too. Really low cost, decent early game, and you can flood the field with them early until you can get stuff that you need. Put this card into the middle of, well, not those, but like in the middle of 2 high soldiers. Like we got one earlier that I think was 5 mana cost, and it had like 1 cost beside it. Put it in between that, like 2 of those if you got them in your hand, and they get more tanky. More tanky equals better. Tanky yet powerful is always the key. I do like False Mjolnir. Give an enemy minion when dealing combat damage equals damage to its controller. Throw this out on one of those annoying cards that are like really strong, like one of the Reese card. Throw it on that one, and the opponent takes that much damage. I'm not sure if it's only once or if it's every time they attack, but they'll stop attacking with that card, and then it'll give you a chance to make space, breathe, and try and regain your footing against them, so you can try and win. Vedma Sky Angel, it's alright. Not impressed. Not anything too special. The final 10. Nothing special. Alright. Resupply Caravan. Awaken. Give adjacent minions a standard action. Alright. So whoever's beside it gets whatever special action you got. Has +2/+2 while occupying a desert enchantment. Oh, we got this one earlier. We was talking about how you could stack that with your desert card that gives you 3. And then he comes out at 4/4, and then also if people attack it, then they'll take more damage. That card's worth it for its cost and what it does, and how it can get stronger. Especially since I'm pretty sure you can place down that enchantment after the fact, and he still gets the damage. All right, Eager Recruit. I'm pretty sure we went over this earlier. Worth it. Worth it. I got another False Mjolnir. Nice. I do like that card a lot. Went over this earlier, I think, maybe. I like this card because it allows you to get early things. If you got 3 mana, you can just keep, and you got 2 of these, and you can place 2 of those, and you can fill your board with stuff that can keep your opponent from like running at you and taking over control of the board. Occupying minion has agile. Your opponent's turn, and also has 2 armor. That's nice. I see where that would have its use. So you put so basically, if you got 5 mana, right? You play Field of Poppies. Gives the enemies fragile above you. Cool, whatever. Not that big a deal. Play the Tailroot Worm on top of it. Comes out at 6/6. And then, oh wait, hold on. Occupying minion has agile. I was gonna say and then do that, but forget the Field of Poppies. Throw that out the window. Didn't mean it. Blech, it's gone. Play this down. Say you don't have anything you can really play, like you got one of those, you throw out a Grease Monkey, restore people's health, you play this one for 4 mana. Next turn comes back around, you put this out there, he's 6/6, and he's got 2 additional armor that people are gonna have to break through. Do you have any idea how annoying it is to have to try and fight through armor? That's probably why I see so many yellow-blue decks. Give a minion 2/1. Nice buff card. Again. Give an enemy minion after dealing combat damage, it takes damage equal to its strength. Fair. Warded. Oh yeah, that's what it does. I don't know why I keep forgetting that every time. This card, very worth it to me, especially if you get it like late game and people are already like controlling the board with their artifacts. Very useful, worth the cost. Attack defense doesn't matter. For its awaken damage that it does, it's worth it alone. Plague Maidens. Lurker, region 1. Deal 1 damage to all minions and players. So it's like the Forlorn Spirit. Not really a fan of the card really that much. I can't justify its cost really unless you get to just play that every time. If you can play that every time and it doesn't like cost you anything other than like your 1 defense, but you can regen that anyway. But even then it hurts you also, so your opponent's gonna try and kill that almost immediately. Even though it has regen 1, it can regen its own damage. I don't know that I would really put this into my deck at all. Alright. Another good, you can put this on top of that guy that gets plus 2/2, and then he comes out 3, 5, no. He came out at 2/2, he'd come out at 4, 4, 7, 7. Like if you don't want to put out the agile card, very nice. It is very, very expensive, and there are counters to it, but I don't know. I feel it could be awesome. I like the sound of that right there. I like that card art even more. That's amazing. I like the sword, the detail that went into the throne, the gateways. Master of Shadows, stealth and deadly. Minions you create get stealth. This ability does not break stealth. He has deadly. Identities hidden. Destroys minions when dealing any amount of combat damage to them. I can justify this so long as whenever you, because he has such a low attack. Say, alright, so let's say he attacks them, and like this doesn't have Alpha Strike or whatever. Even though he's gonna do 2 damage and he's attacking, because he attacks first, it's your turn, you attack them first. Does he automatically kill them even though they wouldn't go down? I'm pretty sure that's how the deadly works. I think that's how that works. Final 5, ladies and gents. This is what you've been waiting for. I guess I got the golden version of that one. Still don't like the cost of this one. Still don't like the 2 mana it takes away from you. I do see its uses though. Bring it down to 3, drop its mana cost down to 1. Its awaken can be useful, but the attack damage doesn't defense it. Doesn't justify its cost. Move this up to 3/3 like I said earlier, we can talk about it. Plague Maidens, yeah, we just got that one. Boom, 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 boom. Oh. Quicksand Hourglass. Stacking. I don't know what this one does. Sacrifice. Awaken. Choose one of your lanes without notifying an opponent. Oh, this is that card. This one has killed probably a good 20 to 25 of my minions. And let me tell you, I like the card. I really do. But I hate it at the same time. Now I have it and I can use it. Oh boy. Let's see who starts winning more games now, because they got cards like this game. This one's cool. I do like these. I like cards like this because it's a really interesting mechanic to the game. After killing a minion in combat, transforms Awakened Huntress. So its cost is a little high, but the odds of you killing something are pretty good also. It's you get it out early game. Like you can attack this guy, or you can double attack and finish it off with her just so you can get out the 4/4 who has Alpha Strike and Life Tap. So I mean, Could be useful. Help you get your vampire deck on up. Love that sound. It's for blue. Wild Core Blue Mythic. Nice. Alright. Just as deadly. Like that card already. Yellow green could be nice. Run a couple yellow green, yellow blue. Balance. Look at that card art. Draw a card for every minion your opponent controls. Can't really justify its cost or the cost that it causes you to pay. Could be useful. Your opponent stacking cards. Alright, if you don't have any in your hand and you're trying to get something going so that they don't get complete control. Final 3. Knives in the Dark. Haven't seen that one. Give a minion, before attacking in the combat, deals 2 non-combat damage to the defending minion. Alright, so it's kind of like you giving them Alpha Strike for 1 turn or all spells. It's a spell, so it might be for all turns as long as that thing stays up. So, I mean, put it on this guy, for instance, if you're running that purple-blue deck like I was talking about. He gets Swift, he goes straight through armor, and now he can deal 2 extra damage. Done. So if you're attacking like this Poxbringer, oh, well, not that guy. We'll go with this guy. If you're attacking this one, he already does 2 to him, and then he does 5 more on top of that. You're looking at doing 3-ish to your opponent, I think, if my math was right. My quick math. Draugr, pretty cool. Justifies its cost. High attack, high defense. Because it fully heals, you can almost always justify the Draugr cost. 2 packs left, ladies and gents. What will we get? Alright, just a common. This one's pretty cool now that I figured out how it works in my head. Eris Dotir. Shouldn't say that with like a Hispanic style accent because this is Norse and that's nowhere near. So Eris Dotir. There we go. Whatever. At the end of your turn, restore 1 health to all your minions. Nice. Like I was saying, you run that yellow-blue deck with shields or whatever, and this will help you get quite a bit of sustain. And since it has this, you can play that on top of like this card, for instance, and then it regens more. And then you can play it on top of the artifact or the card that you play down, the enchantment or place. I don't. But you play it on top of that, it can get 3 more, and then it would be 3, 4, 5. It could have 8. It would be like 8 to 8, 10. Basically, it's just 2 cards helping it out. Temptation. Take control of an enemy minion with mana cost 5 or less that is opposite of an unoccupied lane. Give it Rush until end of turn, then return it to the owner's hand with its mana cost reduced by 4 permanently. This is a card that can hurt you just as much as it helps you. Don't see it. I see where it would be useful, but if you put that on the wrong card, it could really come back to bite you, especially since it reduces its cost permanently. Maybe if you make its cost reduced by 1, cool. But since it's a mana cost of 5 or less, not worth it really, because you could essentially make them be able to play a card for free. Final pack, let's go! There we go. Ignition, like that card already, it's just basic. You can get rid of early game minions. Xerxian Sympathizer. Gets +1/1 until end of turn when you create another rebel. Gets Frenzy until end of turn when you can create another Zealot. Zealot. I don't know how you say it. You tell me. So basically, you play this, you play it on top of a stored martyr right here, and then you play, what is it, a zealot? You play a zealot with it, and then she can get frenzy, and she gets +1/1, which means it'd be 4/4, 4/4 you can do 4/4 twice. So essentially, you kill a card in front of it. Nothing in the occupying adjacent 3 lanes or 2 on either side of the one you kill. Boom, free. It's a free 4 damage. Love that sound, especially for the last card we look at. The Oak of Dodona. I had somebody in my chat tell me about it the other day. This card's pretty strong, especially for its cost and everything else. You immobilize. So it can't be moved. When one of your other minions dies, your opponent takes 1 damage and I gain 1 life. If you're running a vampire heavy deck with life tap and all the perks, bells and whistles, you can start stacking that HP and start getting early control of that board before your opponent has any time to answer with a card like this. But then again, it always comes down to, as Yu-Gi-Oh would say, the heart of the cards. Well, that's it for what, 95 decks Mythguardians that we got to see. I mean, I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. I got a lot of new cards. I'm about to go craft a deck, and we'll just see where the rest of the day takes us.